Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode. So in this episode I'm going to be talking about what I do to keep the acrylic of my 480 gallon Discus tank clean. And as you may remember from my one of my first videos, the acrylic in this tank is 1.5 inches thick. So it's very challenging to find something that keeps it clean, and it's also 4 feet tall, the tank. So it's really difficult to reach everywhere. So I found a way to make it work, and the product I'm using is called Mighty Magnet. So I'm kind of doing a review of this product, let you know what the ups and downs are and if there are any alternatives. And I'm going to also show you a little hack what you can do to improve this magnet. So here's a good look at the aquarium, how it looks now. So as you can see, it looks really nice, at least in my opinion. And yeah, so this tank, as I said in the intro, is 4 feet tall, so which makes it very, very challenging to keep the front clean. And it also has a lot of standing locks in there, and the two openings on the top are pretty small. And if I zoom out here, you can see that it actually is pretty close to the ceiling, so I don't really have any space to go deep into the tank. So I basically had to find a way to make this as painless as possible to keep the glass or the acrylic clean. And for that I'm going to be using a magnet. So overall, the problem with algae has not been too bad, other than the cyanobacteria problem that I had, and I posted a video on how I fixed that problem. And a big reason for the relatively low algae in this aquarium is the fact that I have applied some UV coating to the front glass here of the my sliding doors. Similar product to what people do for tinting their car windows, and it keeps the UV out, so I don't have to worry about this tank being overrun by algae. So that helped a lot. And as you can see here, I don't really have a lot of algae on the acrylic on the front, and I do have some on the side panels because I don't really clean them that much because they don't really bother me. But yeah, so the challenge with this tank is, like I said earlier, the height and also the thickness of the acrylic. So this is 1.5 inches thick. So there are very, very few options on how to keep this panel clean. And so I did try, extended arm scrubbers, and it was just a real pain in the butt. And eventually I found a product that was going to solve this problem for me. And I'm going to show you in a minute what that is. It's very expensive, but if you do a couple of tweaks to it, it's basically the best thing that I think is going to help you keep the algae off the front panel. So right here is the product I'm talking about, and I have to make sure I don't put these too close to each other. So this is the so-called Mighty Magnet, and this magnet has the strength to basically deal with any acrylic panels that are 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And yeah, so these come in two versions. They come in one that is very flat. This is the piece that goes to the in the inside of the tank, and they have another one that is thicker. So if you have a tank like this where you have a lot of interior design, you should probably opt for the thinner version so that it's easier to use it, that you're not going to hit anything. So yeah, that's a good tip, I think. And yeah, the problem that I had with this is actually the price. So I paid $389.95 plus $24.60 for the shipping. I was not charged a tax for some reason, so I paid a total of $414.55. And that was 10 months ago. I just checked the prices again today, and the price has gone up to $429.95. I'm not sure if it's due to supply chain issues in 2022, but that is the price now. So if you add the $24.95 shipping, you are at about $455 just for the magnet. So that is a crazy price tag. There is another magnet company that I found. This one is called Magnuvor. This is the magnet I'm using for the moray eel tank. And you can see, you know, they're a lot smaller. So if you don't like this big giant, you know, magnet in your aquarium, this is probably a better option. Even this is not the same strength of this one. The moray eel tank is only 3/4 inch thick. But if you were to get the same equivalent strength, this would be a lot smaller, almost the same size actually. So that's one. But the price is similar. So you're not going to save money, but you're going to have a smaller magnet with this same strength. So going back to the Mighty magnet, so it does come with this pad here, which goes on the inside, and it does work, but it does not work good enough for me. So if you are somebody who constantly, you know, every other day want to use it and keep the glass clean from algae, you will basically be able to keep it clean because you're removing it before it really becomes a problem. But if you ever, you know, have a couple days where you're slacking off and you have some algae that has basically grown too strong on the acrylic, you will not be able to get it off, and that was really disappointing. So I did find a way to make this work, and the product that I discovered are these Scotch-Brite dough bees. So the reason why these are so great is because these sponges come wrapped in a nylon material. So it's basically really sharp when you touch it, but it's safe for glass and acrylic. So what I used to do in the beginning is I would just cut this open and remove the sponge and basically stick 4 of these straight on here. This is like Velcro. And then that worked really well. But unfortunately, because this is going to be much thinner compared to this pad, the magnetic strength is also going to be stronger. So it's going to be harder to move it around. And if you ever have anything stuck you know, to this, like a small snail or whatever, you can easily cause scratches in your aquarium. And that did happen to me. And it was a pain in the butt to get the scratches out. Fortunately, they were more in the upper region. But yeah, so that was a big issue that I had to deal with. But then I basically switched to just using 4 of them, laying them like this, and leaving them in the foam intact, basically straight out of the box. So the magnetic strength is not as strong, but it does chew through the algae like nothing else. So it's a really, really good way to basically booster the performance of this magnet. Another problem that you may encounter is cleaning the edges of your tank. So what I basically do is I make sure that the sponges overlap a little bit, and that gives me, you know, plenty of reach to reach all the corners. And it makes it a little bit hard to move from the front panel to the side panel. You have to kind of develop a technique for that. But if you use the pad that comes with it, it also overlaps a little bit, but not by a lot. And yeah, and it's not really great in you know, removing the algae. So this material here is much, much better. And these are so cheap. So if you were to buy replacement pads for this, it would cost you a lot of money. But these are really cheap. They come in packs of, I think, 3. So, and they last a long time. You can just flip them to the other side when one is done. But actually, they don't really wear out. You can just clean them and you reuse them, I think. So I use them in all of my tanks, actually. So they're so good. So yeah, basically just line them up like this and make sure that they overlap a little bit. And then it doesn't look very nice, but when I'm done cleaning, I basically just move it to the side or to this side, and then it's out of sight. And whenever I need it, I just go at it again. So I put the magnet now in the tank, and basically, as you can see, slides fine even with the 4 sponges installed, and like I said, it works beautifully. It basically, there's nothing that this doesn't remove. It works so much better than the pad that comes in the box with the a mighty magnet. And when you're done, obviously this looks very unsightly in the tank. I would never leave it like this. You have to, it's a little bit tricky, but you have to basically go as close to the corner as possible, and then just try to slide it like this, and then you just hide it away, and then you can enjoy the tank without any unsightly algae or the magnet. So yeah, that's pretty much my review. Other than the price, you know, the mighty magnet is mighty expensive, but it does work well. It does not wear out. I don't believe magnets wear out, so it's like a one-time investment. And I will always have big aquariums, no matter if it's this one or the moray eel tank that I'm shopping for, since one of my morays is the giant moray. And for those who are interested on the other brands, so this one was $130. So for the one that's applicable for 3/4 inch thick acrylic, but the price raises exponentially. So like I said earlier, you won't save money going with this brand over the other brand. This one is just smaller overall. And but then again, if I hide it like this, you know, I will never see it, and it does get the job done just as good. So let me know if you have any questions, and other than that, the next video will probably be about my maintenance routine. So some people may want to know, what does it entail to keep a tank like this looking healthy, relatively healthy? So I will be posting a video about that. I will let you know what I do to save some money on my electricity bill, you know, my overall maintenance. And I also want to talk about how I prepare the water for these fish, because my water is really hard and very high in pH, and they need, they don't necessarily need soft water, but they need water that is lower in pH. So I'm going to show you how I do that, but that will be for another video. All right, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you liked the tank, and I see you in the next video.